Hey guys, Theron Asbury here with Revital Outdoors, bringing you another exciting podcast. Tonight we're going back to my home state, the state of Oklahoma. We're talking to Mr. Hunter McClary. Hunter got a top 5 finish last year in the BFL Okie division on Lake Eufaula. That tournament's coming up in a couple of weeks to start out the BFL Okie division. So very excited to have another top 5 angler talking about his tournament from last year and what he predicts for this year. Before we get started, as always, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you get notified when all of our content is dropping. We're up to almost 450 subscribers to our channel. So thank you to everyone for all your support. And we just love bringing the content to everyone. And it seems to be everyone's really enjoying it. So thank you so much. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. That's going to be Revital Outdoors. And then if you've never heard of Revital Outdoors, we're a premium CBD company. We make premium CBD products that are THC-free, made right here in America, specifically for the outdoor enthusiast. So if you're a hunter and a fisherman and you have ailments and pains and everything that you're dealing with, make sure you check out our product. That being said, let's go ahead and get right into this podcast. Mr. Hunter McClary, how you doing this evening, bud?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing good. Man, let's just get right into it. Lake Eufaula, I looked up your profile on Major League Fishing. You've had a lot of great success in the state of Oklahoma. So top 5 finish last year. Man, what just put together on Lake Eufaula?
It was a time of year where they were shallow, and I'm a shallow water guy. So throwing a spinnerbait was my thing. That's what we like to do. Here in Oklahoma, most Oklahoma anglers do. They don't like to fish deep. We're shallow water anglers. So pretty much everything I caught came on a 1/2 ounce booyah spinnerbait, double Colorado. It was nothing. It wasn't anything particular. I think it was just I targeted the right areas and just, had a good tournament. I did not get very many bites, but everything I got was a big bite, a good bite. So it wasn't anything special, but it was shallow, and that's what I like to do.
Absolutely. So, Lake Eufaula is one of the larger lakes in the state of Oklahoma. It's very massive. It's got a lot of dirty water in it. It's got a lot of riprap, a lot of rock, a lot of wood. How were you able to condense the lake down and find the fish that you were able to target?
Well, it helped that I only live about 30 minutes away. So I was able to, just spend a lot of time there on the pre-fishing during the week. I'm lucky enough to have a job. If I need to take off and do a little pre-fishing, I get to. So, I condensed it down to some areas that I fished in the past, and it was lucky the lake was up. So there was a lot of cover in the water. So I was just able to condense it down. I caught some off wood and I caught some off grass too. I wasn't getting very many bites off of the wood, but the bites that I did get were good bites. But I ended up, getting more bites out of the grass. They just weren't quite as the quality wasn't quite there.
Okay, I got you. So tell me a little bit about this grass in Lake Eufaula, because I've been away from Oklahoma since 2012, went to college in Arkansas, came back for a little bit. Shortly after that, I moved down here to Florida to pursue my dreams of working in the fishing industry. I've never fished Eufaula where there was grass. So tell me a little bit more about this. I'm very intrigued now.
It's just now kind of coming up, it's not over the entire lake. It's something that if the water's not up, it's no good because it's going to be so shallow. There's not going to be any water on it. It's just the last few years where there's been a little bit of grass pop up around the mid-lake area. It's not something that you can just go in every cove on every end of the lake and find it. So, but when they're there, they're there. Like I said, we're in Oklahoma. They like grass, so. It's just one of those things that I'm hoping that it spreads. If Lake Eufaula could get some grass in there, man, it would be even better than what it is,
Oh, it'd be insane. In my opinion, if you had Fort Gibson and Lake Eufaula had hydrilla in it.
Oh, yeah.
I think honestly, and you can't take away from the history on Guntersville, but I think tournaments would want to start going more to Fort Gibson and Eufaula, as crazy as it sounds, more than like the Lake Guntersville out there, because there's so much potential. Both of those lakes, Lake Eufaula especially, has a great healthy population of bait fish, a very healthy population of largemouth bass. And if it had grass in it, it would also clear up the water a little bit, but it would explode.
Yeah. So, I totally agree. They come to Grand every year, but Lake Eufaula is, bigger than Grand. If they just had a good place to weigh in at Lake Eufaula, man, they could draw some boats and have some good tournaments there, because it's still a good lake. It's a really good lake.
Absolutely. To me, Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma is probably the best spinnerbait lake that Oklahoma has to offer.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that. Yeah.
So I know this one white-haired guy that lives in Cookson, which is about an hour away, that made a living in a TV show off throwing a spinnerbait. So it's got to have some good history on it for sure. So, well, that's cool, Hunter. Well, man, we talked about last year. Were you catching like pre-spawn fish? Were they up shallow, getting ready to do their thing out of the winter pattern, or kind of what depth range and what structure were you targeting?
Everything that I caught was a post spawn. I did catch one pre-spawner during practice, because the tournament last year was a little bit later than it is this year. You're looking mid-March this year, where last year, it was in May. So it was a post-spawn deal. I'm not sure if they were up guarding fry or if they were just up. They've done their business. Now they're kind of feeding up and getting ready to possibly head back deep for the summer pattern. I was throwing as shallow as I could throw. I was just a good cast away from the bank, throwing up there almost on the bank. It wasn't a quick or slow retrieve. It was just a good, moderate retrieve, and like I said, I was targeting wood, and then that grass was the main thing. I never did really get many bites off of rock, and what few I did was small during pre-fishing. But the lake was up again, I believe it was 2 foot, maybe a little higher than that, which was great for me because it put a lot of cover in the water and I could cover a lot of water. So, it was just a chunk in one day. I think I threw the same spinnerbait all day, never put it down. So,
yeah, for sure. Okay, well, cool. And Pradco, the company behind the Booyah, or it's actually LureNet now, the company behind the Booyah brand, not too far away in Fort Smith. I think they do a lot of testing on Lake Eufaula. I know that a lot of the colleges in Arkansas have a lot of tournaments on Eufaula and 10 killer as well. So really cool. Well, man, I know you just mentioned it's a different time of year. What do you predict this year? More pre-spawn, fish a little bit shallower, or?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely predict a pre-spawn pattern. Just so happens tomorrow we've got some bad weather coming in Oklahoma. We've got our round 3 of snow. We've just got through our last round just a couple of weeks ago, and we got another round coming tomorrow. So I believe it's going to cool our water temperatures down. I'm heading to Grand this weekend, so I couldn't tell you exactly what Lake Eufaula is. I do know it's low, and I do know that the water temp's going to be, probably in the 40s, maybe low 50s at best if we hit that. So hopefully after this cool weather tomorrow, we can get a warm trend next week and kind of warm things up and push those fish shallow because, that's what I need. But I definitely think it's going to be pre-spawn. Some people will be, front face sonar, Alabama rig, jerk baits. But you're in Oklahoma. There's always fish shallow in Oklahoma, always. So, you can always get up there and find some shallow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what do you think weight-wise it's going to take this year?
Man, being early in the year, being the pre-spawn, they're going to be full of eggs. I would suggest at least a 20-pound bag probably is going to take the win.
I was going to say 2021. There's going to be that one guy that has 21 pounds. Second's going to be like 19. I think a top 5, you're going to look at like a 16-pound bag to get paid. Depending on how many spots that they pay, you're probably looking 13, 14 pounds. But that's notorious in the state of Oklahoma. I mean, that's what every tournament almost year-round takes. So that's really, really cool. Besides the spinnerbait, what other baits for an angler that's watching this, planning on fishing the Eufaula tournament this coming weekend or next weekend for the BFL Okie division, besides the spinnerbait, what other baits would you have on the deck?
If I was going, fishing just this weekend, I would definitely have the spinnerbait. I would probably have a chatterbait, a rattle trap, a square bill, something where you can throw up shallow, but if you wanted to work it out deep a little bit, and a jig, definitely a jig this time of year. If you wanted to back off and fish a little bit deeper, maybe on some rock or some boat docks or something maybe a little slower presentation. So those are definitely going to be on my deck. When I go to Grand this weekend, I'll have all of them on my deck, and a jerk bait. You're still early, so, a jerk bait would definitely be good, a good rogue jerk bait. So any of those, definitely going to catch fish right now in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I being from Grand Lake myself, I have to say that clown rogue, as goofy as it looks, it will catch them in Oklahoma this time of year. So
I agree.
Solid. So, well, Hunter, really appreciate you coming on board this evening with Revital Outdoors. Before we let you go, know you got a lot of people that support you in your tournament career. I checked you out on Facebook. You got a few sponsors you're working with, a great family. So any of those people you'd like to thank before we get off here, we just want to give you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, just anyone and everyone that's ever supported me, fishing. We're just weekend anglers. So, we got a job, we got kids, we can only go when we can go. So, I appreciate having a good wife that lets me go. My dad's the one that got me into fishing. We've always fished out of Ranger boats, never fished out of anything different. Don't ever plan on it. So, anyone and everyone that's ever supported me to just be able to fish, hey, I appreciate each and every one of them.
Absolutely. Well, Hunter, we appreciate you being on board with us tonight. Just so everybody knows that's watching this in the state of Oklahoma that plans on attending Lake Eufaula, Revital Outdoors will be set up at the tournament. We are a title sponsor to the BFLs this year. Even from being from Florida, obviously my roots being in Oklahoma, we will be up there for Red Crest the week after the BFL Okie on Lake Eufaula. So we are going to take the time to see all of the anglers, hand out samples of our premium CBD product at the tournament weigh-in. So make sure you come by the Revital booth. And then the following weekend, if you don't have any plans, make sure you stop by Expo Square. We will be in Tulsa for Red Crest. Our booth number is 2214. We're going to be selling product. We're going to have a product giveaway, a $500 giveaway at top of that. And then you can come by and meet our pro staff. That's Mr. Greg Vincent and Shaw Grigsby. So from all of us at Revital Outdoors, you've been talking to Mr. Hunter McClary. Again, top 5 angler from last year at Lake Eufaula with the BFL Okie division. Hunter, good luck to you. All the other tournament anglers that are fishing the BFL Okie division this year, good luck to those guys as well. Thank you for tuning into this podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. From all of us at Revital Outdoors, God bless. Be safe out there. We'll talk to everyone on the very next podcast.